Good morning. Nice to see all of you here today. It's really nice to see this large crowd of people before me. So thank you, Belinda, Melissa, and Dr. Hall, for your always thoughtful and important insights. As we gather today this morning, I see many familiar faces from our campus community, and I'm deeply grateful for what you represent. You are all champions who welcome students to the ever-renewing promise of a Fresno State degree. Today, I'll start with the most pressing issue, our budget. I'm sure you've read the news regarding the CSU's budget. It is a topic that has consumed my cabinet and my summer as we lead our university to proactively address the issue in creative ways. Please forgive me for taking just a little bit of time to review the financial position of the CSU in the state budget. Over my 24 years at Fresno State, I have kept asking over and over, why do we face cyclical financial crises? And why do our higher education partners fare better than we do during these crises? I'm trained in critical theory and studied with the philosopher Derrida. Thus, I look for the structure of the structure that creates a challenge. Our current structure of funding higher education goes back to California Master Plan of 1960, which divided higher education in three parts. The top tier contains the research-intensive University of California system. The research allows them to graduate doctorates in every field. The UC enjoys a constitutionally mandated budget because it has been a public trust institution since 1879. The UC system, as a constitutional corporation, has a status equivalent to the state legislature, judiciary, and executive branches. And it receives about 40% more funding per student than the CSU does. Its combined resources and historical constitutional protection have allowed the UC to amass the largest endowment in the nation, which further stabilizes its budget. Additionally, the UCs charge approximately $14,500 for tuition, more than double ours. The UC educates approximately 290,000 students and graduates about 85,000 per year, which is about 34% of its student population. The second tier is the CSU, our CSU. We are charged with providing high-quality, personalized teaching that supports the economy and society of California. You are not a number with us. Our system can grant master's degrees, and we are limited to offering doctorates in fields that do not compete with the UC. Since the CSU is not embedded in the Constitution of California like the UC is, the CSU's funding is discretionary. Hence, our funding is less secure and stable, fluctuates from one year to another, and is heavily impacted by the financial status of California's budget. And our tuition is amongst the lowest in the nation at $6,084 per year. The CSU educates approximately 460,000 students. We are the largest system of higher education in the nation, and graduates about 130,000 each year for the economy and society of California, which is about 35% of its student population. The third tier includes our community colleges. Voters in California passed Prop 98 in 1988, which guarantees that 45% of the state budget be allocated to K-12 and community colleges. This stability in their budget provides our community college partners with the ability to provide competitive salaries, and in many cases, offer free tuition to students. In 2021, the community colleges educated approximately 1.3 million students and graduated 200,000 associate degrees, which is about 15% of its student population. I give you this context so that we can understand why the CSU is so prone to budgetary challenges. We do not have a secure line budget item. Our budget is discretionary, and this often leads to unpredictable and inadequate funding. On an annual basis, we unfairly compete for funding with many challenging areas within our state, from homelessness to food insecurity, to pre-K education. We compete for funding against them. Furthermore, the CSU does not have the option of placing a bond on the ballot to address deferred maintenance or build classrooms or research centers, which we could do at Fresno State. But K-14 and the UCs can place bonds in the ballot, and they have, and they continue to do so. You will see some in November. As a campus, we have been proactive and intentional about addressing the budgetary challenges this fiscal year. With the leadership and assistance of Vice President Addition Astone, each division has made budget reductions within their units, and I am grateful for their collective support. I'm also relieved and happy to share that this year, despite significant fiscal cuts, Fresno State has a balanced budget, which is critical to our stability moving forward. While this does not eliminate the challenge of future years, I can affirm that we are on dry land and not struggling to balance our budget like some of our sister CSUs. Within this context, I'm fully aware that we are strong due to your hard work. And I will again pledge to you to continue to advocate for staff and faculty salaries. I hear and value the message that Dr. Hall delivered. I further pledge to you that we will continue to build upon our foundation of transparency and respect. I will admit that neither I nor anyone could have anticipated the myriad complexities and challenges that we have overcome in the last 3 years that I have served as your president. However, I stand before you knowing that today Fresno State is the beacon of opportunity, hope, and resilience in our valley. In a time marked by political and social polarization and division, we at Fresno State provide a critical forum for dialogue, respectful exchange of ideas, and community. Our university, with its proud history of community engagement, exemplifies the third way. As an example, I'm very proud that we began earnest dialogue back in fall 2023 with our Palestinian and Muslim students, which led to a peaceful demonstration at the speaker's platform. As we approach the election this November, I am confident that we will again model thoughtful conversation within our ongoing culture of civic discourse. This fall semester, I know that our unity, sense of community, shared purpose, and our unwavering commitment to the students will serve as our North Star. The achievements that we have accomplished this past year give me the confidence to move forward with our strategic vision to transform the lives of our students and our valley. First, our commitment to students remains unwavering, and we continue to employ innovative enrollment strategies that no one else is doing in the nation, like Bulldog Bound, the City to Transfer program, and the Fresno State Tuition Advantage program, a program which provided students with financial security in the face of numerous FAFSA delays. Kelly just told me that last week we awarded $80 million in financial aid to our benefit because we need the enrollment at Fresno State. For fall 2024, we received 7% more applications, and we are currently projecting a 32% increase in students who have left the university for more than a year to return to complete their degree with us. For this fall semester, we currently have over 7,000 incoming undergraduate students, which is 450 more than last year at this time, and Fresno State's second largest first-time freshman class. Yes, let's applaud that. To strengthen our retention numbers, we are expanding our student support services by increasing psychiatric services through our Student Health and Counseling Center, creating a Parent Scholar initiative, and we recently installed a Wellness to Go vending machine in the Wrestling Student Union with free and low-cost products for our students. Please join me in thanking Dr. Willis and the awesome staff of the Division of Student Affairs for these accomplishments. I'm also proud of our advancement team. They fundraise, and their hard work will help us better face our financial challenges. This last year marks the second highest fundraising year in the history of Fresno State. We have raised a total of $38,798,481. Who gave the $1? I want to know. This last fiscal year. This is nearly a $10 million increase from the prior fiscal year. This funding enhances faculty teaching and research and bolsters our education. A huge thank you to Vice President Crook and the entire University Advancement team for their extraordinary effort. Let's give them a round of applause. And alongside this remarkable support from our community, our faculty and staff have secured significant research grants totaling $78 million. This is an impressive number that reflects our privileged status as an R2 institution. On the ground, this means that we will be able to conduct meaningful research, buy time for faculty activities, hire critical staff, involve our students in research, and so many more things. And just last week, we were awarded nearly $8 million, a grant of $8 million to support and revise our academic advising services. A huge thank you to our Division of Research and Graduate Studies, Provost Fu, and Dr. Haratunian for their efforts supporting our faculty and their endeavors. As always, our commitment to community-engaged service is unwavering. This last year, we completed a record-breaking 1,439,065 hours of service with an estimated economic impact of $57.2 million to our region. Impressive. Thank you to Chris Fiorentino and the Richter Center for this tremendous achievement, and to all of our students, staff, and faculty for their hard work. I am proud that this is our 14th year as a national leader in community engaged service. No one has this. It is this dedication to our community that inspired the Carnegie Foundation to recognize Fresno State with the Leadership for Public Purpose classification. One of 25 colleges in the entire country to earn this Leadership for Public Purpose classification in its inaugural year, Fresno State is the only public institution in California with this honor. That means no UCs and no other CSUs. I just want to hold that in. Just saying. I want to deeply thank Dean Bernadette Mascat for leading our application. She championed it, and appreciate Provost Fu for his assistance in this impressive accomplishment. Please give them a round of applause. In addition, we have been intentional about seeking funding from outside sources, especially from federal agencies and critical industry partners. A prime example of how we can work together to elevate Fresno State and the Valley is the MOU that I facilitated with the support of Dean Nuna, bringing together Ajit Manocha, president of Semiconductor Equipment and Materials International, with Fresno Mayor Jerry Dyer, Clovis Mayor Lynn Ashbeck, Fresno County Economic Development Corporation CEO Will Oliver, and Gary Peacock and Magnus Ride of Silicon Farms. The growth of the semiconductor industry in relation to agriculture is critical to our region's future and will greatly benefit Fresno State via direct industry investment. In addition to these efforts, our renowned faculty and staff continue to excel, bringing distinction to Fresno State through their achievements. A few examples include just a few. In political science, Dr. Lisa Bryant was selected as one of 28 Andrew Carnegie Fellows to study political polarization and its impact on our society, and was one of only 2 faculty in the entire CSU system who was honored. Give her a round of applause. In media communications and journalism, Dr. Hanaya Oya led a group of Fresno State students to a UNESCO conference on journalism in Chile. I was honored to sponsor this invaluable learning experience with funds from the President's Circle of Excellence. Give her a round of applause, please. This past spring, Shauna Blair, our event coordinator in student involvement and a breast cancer survivor, was one of 8 women honored by the city of Fresno as a Woman of the Year. Shauna oversaw our 50th Vintage Day celebration when over 50,000 visitors came to campus. These are a few examples out of thousands. You have many, many more that fill us all with pride. Now let's give all of you a round of applause. Looking forward, we stand on solid ground as we look ahead this coming year. And we have several exciting developments and initiatives on the horizon that will shape our university's future and continue to reinforce our mission. First, our ongoing WASC accreditation process remains a top priority, and I'm excited to be able to share with you our defining theme, which Dr. Hall mentioned, Flagship of the Central Valley, a theme suggested by Dr. Willis. I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to Provost Fu, Vice Provost Hassan, and Dr. Freilich, as well as WASC Accreditation Committee, who are leading us through this rigorous process. We're also 1 year into our strategic plan, and I am pleased to report significant and measurable progress. Join me on September 26th at the Fall Faculty and Staff Open Forum, where I will share our progress and 1 year review of our strategic plan with you. In order to meet our students' housing needs, for the first time since 1968, and under Vice President Addition Aston's leadership, we are excited to break ground on a new student housing building this fall. The new building will have 4 stories and will include apartments for students with children, because 30% of our students have kids. And I'm very pleased to present new leadership team members who now lead in critical areas. First, I'm thrilled to introduce our new Associate Vice President for Civil Rights and Compliance, Ann Githay. This new department oversees both Title IX and discrimination, harassment, and retaliation, and streamlines the process for both emergent concerns and proactive education and resources for our campus. Under AVP Githay's leadership, our campus will take additional steps towards achieving our commitments to ensure equity, inclusion, and justice for all members of our campus. Next, as we prioritize our academic support services for our students, I'm excited to announce the appointment of our newest Dean of the Library, Janet Crum. I know our library service I know that our library services will thrive under her leadership. Dean Crum, welcome to Fresno State. And let's happily welcome Assistant Vice President and Senior International Officer, Eddie West. AVP West has already developed an ambitious international recruitment plan that seeks to triple our international student enrollment from the 500 we currently have to 1,500. This will strengthen Fresno State culturally and financially while intentionally promoting our university in the international arena. And finally, I'm thrilled to welcome to our Bulldog family our new athletic director, Garrett Classy. He joins us from the University of Houston, where he served as Deputy of Athletics and Director and Chief Revenue Officer. Athletics fosters a sense of pride and community in our entire region, and our athletes project an image of our community's vitality to the rest of the world. As in, side note, 10 million people will watch the first game, which is against Michigan, the first televised game. Garrett's intentional leadership in collegiate athletics will be a tremendous asset to Fresno State. Please join me in welcoming Garrett to our Fresno State community. I'm also excited to announce several upcoming events. First, on September 12th, we will unveil the new Nelson Mandela statue in our Peace Garden. Thank you to Dr. Kapoor, Dr. Vina Howard, Vice President Debbie Addition Aystone, and all the community members for working so hard to make this a reality. It was a journey of exploration and a journey that is now going to be culminated in this. Next is an event that was 2 years in the making. This fall, we are elated to host a year-long exhibition called Wings of the City. Our Maple Mall will showcase stunning bronze sculptures by renowned Mexican artist Jorge Marin. The exhibition will provide us with an educational and cultural opportunity to further understand modern Mexico. This is a tremendous honor, and I'm thankful to the Center for Creativity and the Arts for bringing this unique experience to the Central Valley. Additionally, I'm pleased to announce that the President's Lecture Series will feature esteemed human rights advocate Jane Olson. Please join me on Wednesday, September 18 at 6 p.m. right here in the Ruiz, where Ms. Olson will share her insights and experiences advocating for social justice. Likewise, the Maddie Institute and I will co-sponsor a talk by Robert Costa on December 2nd regarding his insights and reflections about the presidential race in November. Finally, on September 7th is our first home game of the football season as the Bulldogs take on Sacramento State. And as you may have already heard, our new athletic director, Garrett Classy, is offering 2 free tickets to this game to all faculty and staff. Please check your emails later today from AD Classy to claim your ticket. Let's begin our conclusion of today's speech. We have much to celebrate and much to look forward to, and we will continue to address and confront the challenges when we will continue to address the challenges that confront us. I remain confident that our strategic vision, a vision that prioritizes meaningful student experiences, that elevate the quality of life in the Valley, and that actualizes these ideas and ideals through community-engaged teaching, research, and scholarship, will position us as leaders of social and economic change in the region and nation. I'm so proud of what we have accomplished and what we will continue to accomplish. I call on you to join me in spreading the importance of our work throughout the Valley. You faculty and staff, you are ambassadors. You're the dynamic individuals who embody the values we live and breathe every day. The community might recognize our logo, but they know what we stand for because they know you. So tell the uplifting story of who we are, how we turned the possibility of a college education into the reality of a Fresno State degree. The more people know this, the more and stronger our position and our funding will be. To showcase what's possible at Fresno State, I want to share with all of you a really short video narrated by our ASI president, Faith Van Hoven.
Fresno State changes lives. As the Central Valley's flagship university, we cultivate minds and empower leaders through education, research, workforce development, economic impact, and community engagement. Our 8 schools and colleges offer over 125 degree programs that equip students for success through hands-on learning and teaching that matters. For more than 100 years, our Division I athletic programs have provided an unmatched Bulldog experience, inspiring a pride of the Valley that unites us all. With over 250,000 living alumni, 80% of whom stay in the region to lead, our Bulldogs are the living legacy of lives transformed. Fresno State is where possibility meets intention and passion meets purpose. That's why we change lives, so you can change the world.
What do you think about that? You are all always on my mind as I work tirelessly for a stronger Fresno State. Your resilience and care inspire me, and I'm immensely grateful to each of you for your commitment. To conclude, I'd like to read a fragment of John Masefield's poem titled, "A University Splendid, Beautiful, Enduring." He wrote this poem in 1946 as London was beginning to reconstruct its basic infrastructure right after World War II. There are few earthly things more splendid than a university. In these days of broken frontiers and collapsing values, when the dams are down and the floods are making misery, when every ancient foothold has become something of a quagmire, wherever a university stands, it stands and shines. There are few earthly things more beautiful than a university. It is a place where those who hate ignorance may strive to know, where those who perceive truth may strive to make others see, where seekers and learners alike are banded together in the search for knowledge. There are a few things more enduring than a university. Religions may split into sect or heresy. Dynasties may perish or be supplanted. But for century after century, the university will continue, and the stream of life will pass through it. And the thinker and the seeker will be bound together in the undying cause of bringing thought into the world. With these words of optimism and resolve, I want to sincerely thank you for your dedication, passion, and hard work. To our splendid, to our beautiful, to our enduring Fresno State, you staff and faculty are champions of the ever-promising and ever-renewing power of our degrees for our students and our diverse communities. Go Dogs.